And hello, this is Jonathan Frazier coming to you live for the fourth and final night in Eugene, Oregon. The finale of a series between the Florida Atlantic University Owls and the University of Oregon Ducks. The Ducks last night broke the split against your Owls to take a 2-1 series advantage with a 4-0 victory. The Owls will have to settle at best for knotting it back up at 2 games apiece before traveling back to the Sunshine State and the east coast of this United States. So the Owls with a record of 8-3 now, the Ducks at 7-3 on the early season. Had a chance to sit down one more time with head coach John McCormack, and we talked about this finale and sort of the series as a whole and what to expect tonight from the Owls' arms. Hold on just one second. We'll cue that back on up. And here we go.
Obviously didn't. Eugene, Oregon. It's the end of a pretty long road trip with head coach John McCormack. Game 4 against Oregon. Last night obviously didn't turn out the way we wanted it to. Some hits didn't drop. Their defense was very good, and Oregon takes the lead in the series, but a chance to split it today.
Yeah, you hear pitching and defense. You hear pitching and defense, but yesterday I thought they pitched good enough, but their defense was, their right fielder, you don't see right fielders win games, but their right fielder won them a game. Third baseman made another nice play, saved them a run. But, they're really good on this carpet, man. They know how to play it. So we just got to be a little bit better today.
The game results notwithstanding, it's been a great trip. Today's the nicest day of the trip by far. It's sunny and nice out here, and the kids have got the experience I think that you've wanted them to.
Yeah, it's wide ranging. You saw mountains and rivers and streams and a wide variety of weather and that type of stuff. So but we just need to be. It looks on the surface, yesterday you kind of say, oh, we should have been better. But, we were good. They were better, and I don't mind saying that they were better than us yesterday in terms of those 3 plays were the difference. And not that we didn't make plays. Those were exceptional plays that they made. And credit to them. I thought that Coletti threw solid and Sanderson wasn't at his best. He's had a really good career for us, and he just came in and he wasn't sharp, and they were able to get another 2 runs off him, and so it's but we got to get some of those hits to fall, and I think for me the beginning of the game, leadoff double, Eric hits a great sacrifice bunt down. We got a chance to go up 1-0, and Dave's probably a little over anxious in the box and dribbles the ball back to the pitcher. Doesn't allow Frank to score, and then Pedro pops up, and they're out of the inning. If we score that run, you never know. It might be a totally different situation, but that's why we play again today.
And that's why you end up playing 50-some games this year. It's funny, you could look at Tyler's first 4 games of the year and you think, oh gosh, this is setting up for something bad, but how hot has he been this weekend?
He's really, really swung the bat well, and the thing about it is it takes some guys a little time to understand this. It's sometimes not about getting more hits. It's about seeing the ball better and getting some walks. In the first 4 games, he refused to take his walks. He was just up there hanging. Now he's taking his walks, and look where his average has gone, and look what he's dialing in and getting better pitches to hit. So it's it's been good for us.
There's a lot of peaks and valleys to the season, obviously, as long as the collegiate season is, and through that you yourself have to work through the lineup, make some changes, make some adjustments. You've made some adjustments today. Talk about that. Just like I said, it's been a long weekend.
Yeah, we worry too much, I think, about these young people. They're really resilient and they're young. You should worry about me. I'm old. No, it was just, it was an idea. It was the idea you have to give everybody a day off every once in a while. And Eric has got off to a hot start. Has been struggling a little bit. It's just to, give yourself a mental day off and, not have to get back in the box, at least in the beginning. And I talked to him about it, so I hope he, uses the day constructively to kind of, if sometimes when guys get that day off that usually don't get a day off, sometimes, hey, this is great, I'm going to watch the game in a different light, and you kind of understand some things. And then sometimes guys end up going, spending more time worrying about why they're not playing. So I've talked to Eric about it, but Neitz has had some good at bats, and we're going to roll him back out there. And Gunnar, besides a great catch, and had a good day yesterday, and Andrew gets a day off, and Pedro nursing that sore toe a little bit, give him a chance to DH and not have to squat down. And then if we give him the day off today from squatting, and he gets Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off, I think he'll be ready for the weekend. Not that he's not ready now if he had to go, but
Seems like your bullpen was saved through the two games. You threw a couple more arms yesterday, but not a ton of pitches. I mean, you got Prather starting today, but you don't have to depend on him to go 9.
No, he's gonna. He's not gonna go 9. Mike Ruff needs to get in the game, and Matt Harris needs to get in the game, and Zach Schneider hasn't pitched since Wednesday. That's not that big a deal, but Poor needs to get back out there. It's tough when you have your last outing wasn't great, and then you sit around for a couple days. So we got to kind of try to get those 3 guys in, and I'm sure that we have Peden who hasn't pitched. I'm not too worried about that, but we need to make sure these guys get out there so they're good for the rest of the year.
And with this long series,
Hustle around, Andrew.
With this long series, you don't have the midweek this week, so you're off until Friday. So it's even more beneficial to get them in today.
Without a doubt, you're 100% right. Coming off this, I didn't think it was a good idea to have a midweek.
No, agreed.
Yeah.
For my benefit.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things where we get home Tuesday night. Wednesday we'll do something late in the afternoon. Thursday we'll have a normal practice. We'll play Friday. So we're on our way in the grind, so to speak.
And then I think I mentioned it a couple games ago, maybe. Conference plays right around the corner.
Yeah, we play against Seton Hall, and then we have 2 games North Florida midweek, and then we're on another plane to Norfolk, Virginia. So it is what it is. Everybody in the country is doing it, so it's not like we're doing anything anybody else isn't doing.
But hopefully come out with the series split today and, kind of reset things for this weekend.
I agree 100%.
All right, good luck today.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Head coach John McCormack as the very bottom of the Oregon starters being introduced, and I think we're going to get right into the national anthem. Gentlemen set up behind home plate, getting ready to belt that out.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam,
and our national anthem ahead of Game 4 of 4 in Eugene, Oregon. Let's give you today's Owl starting lineup. We got some changes, some people moving around a little bit today. Leading off, playing shortstop is Tyler Frank. Joe Montez back up in the 2-hole. He'll play third base. David Miranda will play right and bat third. Pedro Pages will be the DH this afternoon, and the cleanup batter. Batting fifth in center field is Cody Wilson. Gunnar Lambert at first base is batting sixth. And then the bottom third is Richie Nitza at second base, Kevin Abraham catching, and Diamond Johnson in left field. Frank at short, Montez at third, Miranda in right field. Pages is the DH, Wilson in center, and Lambert at first, and then Nitza at second, Abraham catching, and Diamond Johnson in left field. Nick Prather draws the start today for your Owls. 0-1 with a 7.36 earned run average, making his third start of the season. For the Ducks, their starting pitcher is Cullen Kafka. He has a 1-0 record, making his third appearance and second start with an ERA of 7.20. He's given up 4 runs, all earned on 4 hits, with 2 walks in 5 innings of work, and has struck out 4. He will face the red-hot Tyler Frank to start. Frank's riding a multi-game hit streak now. Has had hits in all 4 prior games this week, all 3 games this weekend in Oregon, plus the midweek at Miami. And he's raised his batting average all the way up to .293 on the year to lead the Owls. So he'll face the right-handed Oregon freshman, Kafka, 6'3", 200 pounds from Walnut Creek, California. First pitch is going to come at 4:03 local time. A called strike down the middle. And we are underway. Oregon wearing black tops today, white bottoms. The Owls in all gray. 0-1 pitch. Frank fouls it to the right side off the facing of the grandstand. 0-2. These are the gray Owl tops with the state of Florida insignia with Atlantic written north to south. Blue numerals, red trim, and the all gray bottoms, no stripes. 0-2 pitch. Frank down the left field line. It's a fair ball. Picked up right before it hits the fence. Frank is into second base head first with a double for the second straight game. Frank leads off with a double. Tyler started off the season 1 for 20. Since then, he is 12 for 22. Now Joe Montez, well, yesterday Frank led off with a double. It was sacrificed to third by Rivera. We'll see if Montez can do the same thing if asked to. Look back at second. Now a turn towards second by Kafka. No one covering, so no throw made. Montez not squaring, takes it off the plate away. 1-0. Joe is at .256 on the year. Had a couple of hits yesterday. Second on the team with 11. 4 runs batted in. Kafka working out of the stretch to the plate. Montez lines it into right center. That's going to go past everybody all the way to the wall. He is racing around second, going to go to third, and he will be into third, sliding with a triple to start this ball game. All run batted in for Joe Montez is his 5th of the season. And that quickly a 1-0 Owls lead. Left-handed batting, David Miranda. 243, a home run, 3 runs batted in. And a foul ball to the right-hand side. 1-1. Foul ball off the facing of the Owls dugout. That sends a handful of guys scattering. Making a 1-2 count to Miranda. And Montez 90 feet away, could be a quick 2-0 lead. Miranda can put it into play. Infield is conceding the run. Miranda to first. Takes a look over at Montez. And so Matthews will take it himself. 1 down. Next up, Pedro Pages. Pedro searching for his first hit in the series. He's 0 for 11. Batting average has dropped to 279, but it's not as if he hasn't hit the ball hard this weekend. He's just been hounded by Spencer Steer at third base. Breaking ball, a little low. Ball 1. Pedro up the middle, diving play by the second baseman Kasser on the shortstop side of second base. He throws out Pages, but a run scores. Pedro cannot buy a hit. He does get a run batted in. 2-0. And 2 outs for Cody Wilson. Wilson is at 211. 3 for 10 in the series. A home run and 4 runs batted in. Base is clear. Swing and a miss. 92 miles an hour on that fastball. Just a bit low. 1-1. To the plate. This one's chopped to short. Nelson throws and gets Wilson by a step to end the inning. But a 2-0 Owls lead on the double and triple, followed by a ground out. Owls will take advantage in the first inning, unlike yesterday, for that 2-0 edge. Bottom of the first, right after this. Nick Prather on the hill for your Owls, the sophomore right-hander to face Kessler, DeLuca, and Steer. First three Ducks. Kessler batting an even 250, just picked up his first hit in the series in his last at-bat. In his most recent at-bat, he's 1 for 12. 250 with 5 runs batted in on the year. Prather's first pitch is fought off to the left-hand side. Hits the suite a couple of doors down and drops into the stands. 0-1. Kessler is the only senior in the Oregon lineup today. The 0-1 is hit right off of the second baseman Richie Nietzsche's glove and into right field. He had to leap high to get it at a hard line drive and just out of his reach.
Now batting center fielder, number 5, Johnny DeLuca.
Johnny DeLuca is batting next. Runner at first and nobody out. DeLuca's at 184 on the season. And 091 in the series, 1 for 11. Owls haven't had too much trouble with the first two hitters in the Oregon lineup. It's the next two that have given them trouble. Pop fly, shallow left center. Wilson will call off Frank and Johnson and make the catch. One down. Here's the aforementioned Spencer Steer. Has been a thorn offensively and defensively, batting .359 overall with a home run and 10 runs batted in. In the series, he's 4 for 10. And if there was a collegiate advanced stat for runs saved on defense, he's got a handful of them in these first 3 games. Looks to pitch low and inside, ball 1. Kessler over at first base has a 3 for 4, 3 out of 4 success rate on stolen bases. There's a grinder to short. Frank to Nietzsche for 1. Nietzsche to first, not going to be in time. Two down. First baseman Gabe Matthews. Matthews, 342 on the year, 364 in the series. He also has 5 runs batted in against the Owls out of his 6 on the year. Runner at first and 2 outs. Owls leading 2-0. Breaking ball over for a called strike. 0-1. Look over at first at Steer. A 1 pitch. Misses just a bit high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Steer is 1 for 1 on stolen bases, and that did come in this series. The pitch. Swing and a miss. There goes the runner. Throw down. Going to be definitely in time. Sliding past the bag, never touching it was Steer. And Abraham throws out Spencer Steer to end the inning. So the Ducks do get a hit. They strand no one and are off of the scoreboard with your Owls leading 2-0 through 1 complete. that Kevin Abraham's music playing his walk-up entrance from last year playing after he cuts down Steer, trying to steal in the bottom of the first inning. He'll bat third in this inning after Gunnar Lambert and Richie Nitza. FAU 2, Oregon 0. Gunnar Lambert batting 156 on the year with a home run and 3 runs batted in. First pitch from Kafka misses away. 1-0. Lambert is 0 for 7 in the series. Robbed of a couple of hits that I remember. 1-0, low and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Foul ball to the left-hand side. 2-1. Game time temperature in Oregon right now is a balmy 53 degrees. There is not a cloud in the sky. Oh, nope, there's one cloud in the sky that I can see. And this one misses low, 3-1. That would be, if I can get my directions right, to the south of us. Just one cloud over the horizon. It's a tiny one, too. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Lambert inside-out swing the opposite way. It's going to bound along the concourse, and the count is full. It really is a nice day today. Sun's out. A little bit of a breeze, but it's not nearly as biting as it has been the last 2 or 3 days. Payoff pitch. Lambert lines it into the left. Right into the glove of Evan Williams for the first out of the second inning. Now Richie Nitza. Nitza's 2 for 11 to start his young Owls career. 182. Has a double and a run batted in. 1 for 7 in the series, making his 3rd straight start. Can't catch up to the fastball on the outer half. 92 miles an hour, 0-1. And takes it low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kafka taking his time on the rubber. Now to the plate. And another swing and a miss. Kafka pitched in a relief appearance at UNLV for his collegiate debut and then started against Seattle. There's a nubber off the end of the bat. It's going to be caught by the second baseman, Kesser. 2 down. Kafka picked up the win going 3 innings against Seattle this past, that would have been Wednesday. No, this past Tuesday. 3 innings, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. Gets Abraham to chase a breaking ball tailing away. 0-1. And does not chase this one. Fastball. Make it a 1-1 count. Swings and misses at this one too. 1-2. Kafka had some outstanding high school stats. 11-1. The 1.15 earned run average as a senior. 98 strikeouts and 73 innings. Bounds this one in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Went to De La Salle High School, Concord, California. Readies for the break even. Got Abraham swinging on a slow breaking ball, his first strikeout in a 1-2-3 inning. The Owls continue to lead 2-0, heading to the bottom of the second inning right after this. Gabe Matthews, who was at the plate when Spencer Steer was caught stealing to end the first, will return to the left-handed batter's box to face Nick Prather. Fouls the first pitch back up and over the concourse roof. 0-1. The Owls will be back at home for a 3-game sit this weekend to host Seton Hall. It's a 1-1 count to Matthews. It'll be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday affair. 6:30, 4, and 12. 12 noon on Sunday. First 3 of 5 straight. Two and 1 to Gabe Matthews. And another foul ball off the end of the bat. That's going to reach the seats to the left field line. Ish. Hit the padding there. Count levels out at 2 balls, 2 strikes. And another pop-up. This one should stay in play. It's foul ground. Montez squeezes it at third. 1 down. Now Jacob Goldfarb. He is batting .286 on the season and just 2 for 11 in the series. His contributions have been more on the defensive side of the spectrum. Takes it low and inside, ball 1. 2 top 10 plays out in right field last night. 1-0. Catch the black on the outside corner, 2 balls and no strikes. Literally saving 3 runs. Absolutely no doubt on 2 plays. 2-0 pitch. Inside outs to left. Diamond Johnson going back and makes the catch, fighting the sun out there in left field with, well, sunglasses on his hat, brim. But he makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down. Here's the DH and the Oregon closer, Kenyon Yovan. He's batting an even 200, 5 for 25 this year. 1 for 6 against the Owls with a couple of starts in the 3 games. He's also appeared on the mound twice. Low and away, ball 1. And there's a called strike. Took a little off that one. On the inside corner, 1 ball, 1 strike. Jovan bats right-handed. He's a sophomore. And off the outside corner, 2 balls, 1 strike. In his record-setting season as a closer last year, make it 3-1. Trying to find his batting statistics as well from a year ago. May not be in this packet that I've been given. 3-1 pitch. Hit hard but foul down the left field line. The count will go full. No, it's not looking like it. No 2017 stats for the Ducks. Moving on. Full count now to the Ducks designated hitter. And a call, 3rd strike on the outside corner. Jovan is out of the game. Jovan shows the umpire where the ball was in the turf. He took his bat and swiped across the turf to show where the pitch was and was immediately tossed from this ball game. It's going to bring Coach Horton out to talk to the home plate umpire, but the first time a umpire's decision would be reversed would be now if that was the case. It's not going to happen. So, all that being said, Oregon's without their closer now. Should it come to that, on Prather's first strikeout, he has a 1-2-3 second. Coach Horton's still barking at our home plate umpire on his way back to the dugout. We'll go to the 3rd. It's 2-0 FAU. Coach Horton just now returning to the Oregon dugout, having spoken to our home plate umpire for the entirety of that inning break. First pitch to Diamond Johnson is off the plate away and a called strike. It was about the same spot as the strike called. Jovan, 0-1. Diamond, 160 on the early season. He's 4 for 25. Lifts this one into center, right at DeLuca. And back to the top of the Owls order, Tyler Frank. They lead the Oregon Ducks 2-0. Frank, a major part of that as his double to lead off the game. He came in to score on the triple by Montez, who came in to score on the ground out by Pedro Pages. So Frank 1 for 1 and looks at the first pitch, low, ball 1. 1 for 1 in the game, and he is 6 for 11 in the series. Scored his team high 8th run to open up the scoring. 1-0. Got underneath that one. Left side of the infield, Nelson shielding his eyes from the sun. He too has his sunglasses on his hat brim, but makes the catch. 2 down for Joe Montez, who, as I just said, tripled in Tyler Frank for the game's first run. Yesterday, Montez, his bid for extra bases was caught. Called strike by the right fielder Goldfarb on a diving catch in the right center field alley. Well, he pushed it past Goldfarb and the center fielder DeLuca in the first inning, leaving no doubt. And another called strike on a breaking ball, 0-2. And he swings and misses on a pitch that bounces in. Soderman will apply the tag to end the inning. A 1-2-3 third. It stays 2-0 right after this. Bottom third of the Oregon lineup due up to face Nick Prather. In the Ducks third, it's Nelson, Soderman, Williams. Prather has faced the minimum, gave up a leadoff single, who would be caught stealing to end the first, had a 1-2-3 second. Misses on the first pitch to Nelson, 1-0. Ryan Nelson looking for his first hit of the series. He's 0 for 10. That's dropped his batting average to 171 on the year. Chops this one to short. Frank ranging behind the bag. Throws a strike over to Lambert. And that's the first out of the bottom of the third. Here's Ray Soderman. Soderman 4 for 11 against the Owls and had 4 hits coming into the series. So he's doubled that, batting .276 in 2018. Thought he was walking to the plate to Power of Love, but that was a different chord to start that song. Not nearly as good, 1-0. Prather to the plate. This one's lined to center. Wilson, a good beat, and puts it away on the jog. 2 down. Next up, Evan Williams. An even 200 hitter at 4 for 20. 2 for 5, though, in the series. A couple of runs scored. I think if we're looking back at the Jovan strikeout, it's one thing to verbally appeal to the umpire your disagreement, but the showing up, the bat, tracing the bat to where he thought the pitch was in the outer batter's box, not going to get away with that very often when your actions speak louder than words as a hitter. against the home plate umpire. First pitch to Williams. Catches the outside. Black 0-1. And a breaking ball right over the middle of the plate. No balls, 2 strikes from Prather. Well outside. Williams doesn't chase it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Outfield plays Williams straight away. Wilson directly behind second base. Just low. Williams holds up 2 balls, 2 strikes. They do play him a bit shallow. Does the Owls outfield. 2-2 pitch. Low and away. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Prather came into the game in 7 1/3 innings. He'd walked 5. Trying not to issue his first today, but he will. On 1 below the knees with 2 down, Williams races to first. Now Kyle Kasser. Kasser led off the Oregon first with a single to right, just out of the reach of Richie Nitza. Nitza's listed at 6 foot tall. If he was 6'3", he would have had the catch. Williams over at first base has a steal in the series. Kasser, first pitch swinging to left. Diamond Johnson races in and will make the catch. So no harm, no foul on the 2-out walk. Oregon still off the scoreboard. And the Owls with a 2-0 lead going to the 4th.
The public address system, scoreboard, and PK Vision video board and PK card are provided for your added enjoyment of the game by 5 great sponsors of Oregon Athletics: Meijer, Spirit Mountain, Pepsi, Les Schwab, and Williams.
David Miranda grounded out to first his first time up, leads off the top of the 4th. Scuffled a bit in this series. Looking to break out here. Squares the bunt. Pulls it back and takes it off the plate away, 1-0. Maybe trying to keep the defense a little honest as Steer and Marshall both raced in. Steer and Matthews both raced in from their corner positions. Called strike outside corner at the knees, 1-1. Miranda kind of gives it a shrug. Borderline call there. The 1-1. Misses low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Set at the chin. Kafka. Miranda goes the opposite way. Williams, handful of steps to his right, makes the catch. Now Pedro Pages. Pedro had an RBI ground out in the first for this 2-0 Owls lead. Knocked in the second run. He's 0 for 1. Hits this one hard to left and deep, going back to the fence, looking up, jumping, and making the catch. Pedro Pages doffs his helmet at the center fielder DeLuca, who just pulled it back in from over the fence in left center field to rob Pedro Pages of a home run. At some point, you just got to wash your hands and say, I'm not going to get a hit here. Pedro is everything he could do. He just put that one over the fence and had it brought back in. Here's Cody Wilson. He'll line it the opposite way to right. He's going to have extra bases. It goes to the fence. Digging for second, being held right there is Wilson with a 2-out double. Third Owls hit. Third Owls extra base hit. And now Gunnar Lambert. Even if Goldfarb had been able to cut that ball off from his long run, I think Wilson would have had an easy double. He had no shot at him once it got past. The ball got past him to the wall. The only question there was whether or not he was going to try for 3. First pitch to Lambert, who flew out to left in the second inning, is low, ball 1. Wilson sort of being held on by the shortstop. Nelson now backs into his regular position. 1-0. Fouled right there in the batter's box by Lambert, 1-1. Oregon has activity in their bullpen. It's going to be a left-hander, Colby Summers. Kafka, long look in for the sign. Lambert very patient to wait for this. Double take at second, the 1-1. It's fought off to second base. Thrown on over there by Kesser to end the inning. Wilson's 2-out double is stranded. And it remains 2-0 FAU. Prather back out for the bottom of the 4th. Next.
It's time for the 15-second challenge. Today we have Tanner, who will have 15 seconds to name as many items as he can in a given category. Then we'll take a look at our video board to see how well his answers stacked up against one of our baseball players. Today's category is TV shows. All right, ready, set, go.
Bottom of the 4th inning, first pitch from Nick Prather to Johnny DeLuca is low and inside, ball 1. Prather will, with his next offering, have thrown 35 pitches, giving up just 1 hit to Oregon. DeLuca, big time pop up here. Lambert to the facing of the dugout and watches it go a couple of rows deep into the bleachers. 1-1. 1 hit, 1 walk issued by Prather. No runs, obviously. Does have a strikeout, as it is FAU 2 and Oregon 0. The 1-1. Can't get the outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Owls have populated their bullpen just in this last half-inning break. Off the end of the bat to third, Montez charges, throws over in time. And that is ten out of the last 11 retired by Prather. Or 9 out of the last 10. Spencer Steer reached on a fielder's choice to end the first inning. Well, he reached on a fielder's choice and then was caught stealing to end the first. Low and outside, ball 1. And a called strike here. 1 ball, 1 strike. Prather, the pride of Zionsville, Indiana, falls behind 2-1 to Steer. And gets the outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Steer, just a sophomore third baseman for these Ducks, was a freshman All-American last year. He's a Long Beach, California native. 2-2. Just misses away. And if this weekend is any indication, he's a Gold Glove third baseman. The payoff pitch. Hit to a diving Richie Nitza at second base. Throws over to get Steer, and there's 2 down. Nice play by the Owls newcomer. Lost his hat in the process. His flowing locks waving in the breeze. Nitza with a nice play. 2 down for Gabe Matthews. Popped out to third. Montez in foul ground. Fastball inside corner for a called strike. 0-1. Off the plate away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Matthews, like Steer, earned some freshman honors last year. Swings and misses at the breaking ball there, way out ahead of it, 1-2. And the pitch. Fouled off, and Abraham can't glove it, so we'll do it again. Steer and Matthews were both collegiate baseball freshmen All-Americans last year. Will be cogs in this on this Ducks team for at least 1 more season. The 1-2, swing and a miss. Got Matthews. No, he didn't. Strike that, reverse it. He got a piece of it and fouled it off. Just staying alive. Thought Abraham had popped out of his scratch to go to the dugout. He was going to retrieve that foul ball. 1-2. Outside again, 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's a pop foul, third base side. Montez gets it again to retire Matthews. And it's a 1-2-3, fourth for Prather and the Owls. Holding on to that 2-0 lead and heading to the fifth. Top of the fifth inning, it will be Diamond Johnson. Scratch that. It'll be Richie Nitza who fouls it off and drops the bat in the process. 0-1. Johnson was hanging out by the on-deck circle. My eyes deceive me. 0-1 to Nitza, who popped out to second his first time up. Nitza, Abraham, and Johnson is the trio scheduled to bat for your Owls in the fifth, leading 2-0. Nitza trying to drop down a bunt. It's back to the pitcher, Kafka, and he will nip Nitza by a step. Bringing up Kevin Abraham. Abraham struck out swinging his first time up. Fell prey to Kafka's breaking ball in the second inning. Misses low with the first offering, 1-0. Kevin is 2 for 16 to start the season. Did have an RBI in this series. RBI single in game number 2. Chops this one wide of third and foul. 1-1. To the plate. Bounces past Soderman to the backstop. 2 balls, 1 strike. The Oregon defense is Soderman catching. First to third, as it has been all series, is Matthews, Kasser, Nelson, and Steer. Left to right goes Williams, DeLuca, and Goldfarb. 2-1 pitch. Foul to the right side. That's going to catch the facing of the press box. 2-2. Nearing an hour into this ball game, FAU 2, Oregon 0. Trying to come inside on Abraham, he fouls it off. Still a 2-2 count. Caught the front leg of Abraham while still in the batter's box. Break-even pitch is going to hit Kevin Abraham. And he will trot down to first base with a 1 out, reaching with 1 out. Kevin's been hit by a lot of pitches in his Owls career. That's 26 of them. 7th on the all-time list. He will not reach the record. And I'm going to pronounce this guy's name wrong. Gabe Samariba. Just for reference, that guy was hit by pitches 27 times in 2002, 27 times in 2001, and 25 times in the year 2000. Those are among the all-time top seasons by anyone in Division I history. So Abraham just got hit by his 26th pitch in his career, and that would rank second if it was in one season. All that to say that he's on first base with 1 out. For Diamond Johnson, now stepping in, he flew out to center to lead off the 3rd inning. Tries to lay a bunt down, but fouls it off, 0-1. Taking his time on the rubber is Kafka. Now we'll come to the plate. Johnson swinging away down the right field line, but foul. 0-2. Seems like when a runner gets on base, Kafka slows down his windup and misses high, 1-2. Very deliberate now with Abraham on first. The 1-2 pitch. Nearly got Johnson on the inside arm. 2-2. Right-handed junior outfielder for the Owls. The 2-2. Outside corner, a called strike. He is down for the 3rd Kafka strikeout. And 2 away. Tyler Frank is 1 for 2. With a double and a run scored, he popped to short his last time up. Owls have a left-hander getting loose out in the bullpen. Jordan Poor lightly tossing. Frank high in the air to left. Back to the track, now coming back in is Williams. And finally makes the catch. Frank got under that one. To end the 5th. Next up is the bottom half. It'll be Goldfarb leading it off, then a New Oregon designated hitter, of which we do not know, and then the shortstop, Ryan Nelson. Goldfarb. Looks like Taylor Travis and Ryan Nelson due up for Oregon against Nick Prather in the bottom of the 5th inning. First pitch swinging past Richie Nitza. A diving Nitza into right center. Base hit for Goldfarb, just the second by Oregon here today, and the first since the top of the first. Here's the new designated hitter, Taylor Travis, replacing Kenyon Yovan, who was ejected after arguing a call third strike a couple of innings ago. Travis on the year is batting .250. He's 3 for 12. He's 1 for 6 in the series. First pitch misses, ball 1. Squares the bunt, takes it away. 2 balls, no strikes. Travis, a left-handed batter. And 3-0 to him. Goldfarb at first base has 1 stolen base in as many attempts this year. Over for a called strike to Travis, 3-1. Set at the waist. After a glance, there goes the runner, fouled back, and it's 3-2. Looking into the Oregon dugout for the sign is Travis. Goldfarb just now making his way back to the first base bag. 3-2 count, runner on first, nobody out. In the bottom of the 5th inning. 2-0 FAU lead. The pitch. There goes the runner again, way inside. And the first 2 have reached in the Ducks' 5th. Kevin Abraham wants to talk to Nick Prather as Ryan Nelson steps in. Second walk issued by Prather. This would be the first runner in scoring position today for Oregon as well. Nelson's going to square to bunt. The runner at second. Montez will have to stay close to the bag. So this will be up to Lambert and Prather to field, if not Abraham the catcher. Low and away. Ball 1. Of course, Prather wants to shade his pitch to the outside half of the plate and try to get the bunt up the first base side. Now, this happened yesterday. Same situation, runners at first and second. Lambert charging as quickly as he possibly could, fielded it cleanly through to third, not in time. So we'll see. Maybe there's a different defensive strategy at play here today if Nelson can get the bunt down. Outside again, 2 balls and no strikes. Double barrel action in the Owls pen. It's Jordan Poor as well as right-hander Mike Ruff. 2-0. Bunted right back to Prather. He's going to go to first after feigning to third. And it's scooped out of the dirt, or out of the turf, by Richie Nitza for the out. Had Prather gone to third, no shot. Then he turned and pirouetted to first, to the second baseman. Nitza covering first. And luckily Nitza picked it like a first baseman for the first out. However, 2 runners in scoring position and still just 1 out. Soderman due to bat, but David Kopp, the Owls pitching coach, is going to come out of the third base dugout, across the foul line to speak to the entirety of his infield. Tying run now at second base. Never too early to consider that possibility in a low-scoring game. Kopp, his first season with FAU, former minor league pitcher in the Cardinals organization. And the meeting breaks up, and Soderman, who flew to center back in the 3rd inning, is 0 for 1 today. We'll dig in against Nick Prather. Runners at second and third and 1 out. The Ducks trailing your Owls by 2. First pitch to Soderman. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball way ahead of it as Soderman waving. 0-1. A 1 pitch is hit up the middle for a base hit. 1 run will score. Here comes the third of the plate. It's going to be up the line, and it's 2-2. How quickly the tides have turned. Still just 1 out. Evan Williams to the plate. Twin lines on the scoreboard of 2 runs, 3 hits, and no errors for each squad. Williams, who walked his first time up. Calls time before the first pitch to him. Low and away, ball 1. John McCormack on the top step of the dugout. We'll see, pending the result of this at bat. Double play would be nice. The 1-0. Just low, a bit outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Prather looks over at first at Soderman. Now to the plate. There goes the runner. It's hit to right and deep. Miranda going back off the wall. Soderman being held at third. And the double to right field by Williams will end the night for Nick Prather as John McCormack waits for the announcement of the batter, Kasser, and goes back in the dugout. Well, Abraham has yet to set down in his crouch. Looks like Prather is going to throw to Castor. He steps off. Third hit of the inning. 2 runs in, and the go-ahead run is at third base with still just 1 out. Fastball outside corner. 0-1. Oh, my apologies for assuming McCormick had come out of the dugout, but is not yet going to make the pitching change. The 0-1 hit on the ground to short. Off the glove of Frank. Wouldn't have had a play anywhere had he come up with it cleanly. It's 3-2, and that'll do it for Prather. Frank's only shot may have been at third base if he'd have come up with it cleanly, but that would have been a tough play. We'll wait and see what the official scoring is, but Oregon has taken the lead on an error on Frank. Runners at first and third. Still just 1 out. Johnny DeLuca is next, and he will be facing Jordan Poor when we return right after this. Jordan Poor will turn around. Johnny DeLuca, the switch hitter, will bat right-handed. Runners on the corners. 1 out. Oregon 3 runs in the inning in a 3-2 lead now. First pitch is low and inside, ball 1. Poor's first appearance of the series and third this year. No record, no ERA. 2 1/3 innings, 1 hit, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. He's behind in the count to DeLuca, 2-0. DeLuca tonight is 0 for 2. He has popped to center or flew to center and grounded out to third. This one is hit hard to left. Diamond Johnson looking up. It's off the top of the fence. And a double for Oregon's DeLuca. Makes it a 4-2 game. Next up, Spencer Steer. Steer is 0 for 2. Be the 8th batter of this inning. And they're going to walk Steer to load the bases so that Poor can face left-handed batting Matthews. And also set up a force at any base with 1 out. Poor completes the free pass. And Matthews, who's fouled out twice to Montez, will be the 9th batter of the inning. Again, still with just 1 out. Kasser is at third, DeLuca at second, and Steer is at first. Oregon threatening to break this game wide open. Unless Poor can retire Matthews and Goldfarb or get a double play. Well, Prather had cruised through 4 innings, having only given up 1 hit and a walk, no runs, but single, walk, sacrifice bunt, single, double, and an error chases him. There's a good breaking ball for Poor for a called first strike. Oh, 1. Misses away, 1 ball, 1 strike. A lot of speed out there on the base pass for Oregon. 1-1. Fouled to the left-hand side off the netting. Poor moves ahead in the count 1-2. The 6 foot even, 175-pound redshirt sophomore. Breaking ball left up high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Looks in for the sign. Sets the 2-2. Can't get the outside corner call. Abraham held it there for a pregnant pause. It's a full count to Matthews with obviously nowhere to put him as the bases are loaded with Ducks. Payoff coming to Matthews. Got him looking on the outside corner. That is a big second out of this 5th inning. And Goldfarb, who led it off with a single and started this whole debacle. Up with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Drew Peden, Matt Harris, both warming up in the FAU pen. First pitch to Goldfarb. Good breaking ball there. 0-1. Tyler Frank with a quick word to his pitcher, Poor. Now races back to his position near second base. Oh, 1 pitch. It's fouled back off the netting and nearly bounded back to hit Kevin Abraham in the back. 0-2. That literally went back onto the field of play over the shoulder of Abraham. Well, let's see if Poor can pull the string here and strand 3 ducks. He readies for the 0-2. Purpose pitch misses outside. Goldfarb not chasing. Set for the 1-2. Just up high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Left that breaking ball up a bit. Now the 2-2. Fastball misses up high. 3-2. Walking the tightrope is Jordan Poor with the bases loaded and a full count again to the second straight batter. He struck out the last one, but he'll walk Goldfarb to force in the 5th Ducks run. Missed up high after going ahead in the count. 0-2. Another left-hander due up in Taylor Travis. A 5-run Oregon inning. Travis walked in this inning. He hits it to short. Fielded by Frank. Underhands Stanitsa, who tags the bag, and that'll end the inning. But 5 runs come in to score for Oregon in the 5th. They are ahead 5-2. Joe Montez due to lead off the top of the 6th right after this. Joe Montez lays off the first pitch at the top of the 6th inning. Off the plate away, 1-0. Sad but true tale as Oregon puts 5 across in their half of the 5th inning to lead your Owls now 5-2 in the Final game of this 4-game set. Montez up the middle, past Ryan Nelson for his second hit of the day. And the 4th hit of the game for FAU, bringing up David Miranda. Miranda is 0 for 2 today. First pitch to the left-handed batting Miranda. He lays off of it in the dirt. 1-0. And this one's hit to a sliding second baseman, Kasser. Safe at first on the return throw is Miranda. He hit it on the screws. Montez is retired on the fielder's choice. But Miranda is safe at first for Pedro Pages. Pages had a home run. How quickly we forget. Taken away from him in the 4th inning. It's just going to show up in the scorebook as a fly ball to center field. Well, it was a leaping fly ball brought back into play by DeLuca. First pitch is below the knees, ball 1. 5 runs, 5 hits, no errors for Oregon. 2 runs, 4 hits, and 1 error for FAU. Called strike here. One and one. Time called. Time called by first base umpire. Unclear. 1-1 pitch. Bounces in. Not far enough away for Miranda to even attempt to advance. 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, Kafka had struggled a bit prior to even last inning where they had Summers warming up. He is still getting loose in their pen, but now as the beneficiary of a 3-run advantage, he's got a little more leeway on the mound. He's thrown 65 pitches. 2-1. This is low, 3 balls and 1 strike. He has not walked a batter in this game. He's going to get a visit from his catcher, Ray Soderman, now. Three and 1 to the Owls' designated hitter, Pedro Pages. And he will draw the walk to put 2 on and 1 out for Cody Wilson. Wilson doubled to right and is 1 for 2 today. That's going to bring Oregon's pitching coach, Jason Dietrich, out of the first base dugout. with his entire infield. And they're going to go to the bullpen. Is Oregon. Looks like it's going to be Summers. We'll tell you all about him right after this. You're listening to FAU Baseball on YouTube. Game 4 in Eugene. So it will be the left-hander Colby Summers for his 4th appearance of the season. He'll inherit 2 on and 1 out. We'll be facing Cody Wilson. Summers, no record, a 1.80 earned run average. He's given up just 2 runs, 1 earned in 5 innings. He has given up 7 hits, which means batters are hitting .368 against him. 1 walk and 6 strikeouts. The freshman from Hillsboro, Oregon. To the plate against Wilson. Bounces it in, 1-0. Miranda is at second. And Pages is at first. And Wilson representing the tying run here in the top of the 6th inning. Owls trailing 5-2. 1-0. Pop foul, first base side. That'll reach the concourse. 1-1. The Owls are going to salvage a split in this series. They'll have to have a decently major comeback here. Down 3. Summers will take the next sign. 1-1 pitch. Going to get through and advance both runners well inside, and Soderman couldn't come up with it. Wild pitch will put 2 in scoring position and put Wilson ahead in the count, 2-1. Time called at the plate for the 4th pitch of this at bat. And Wilson fouls it off right there at home plate. 2-2. if Wilson can hit it to the right side. Or maybe deep in the hole to the left. Although I don't know with that left side of the infield as good as they are for Oregon. Just get it in play, get a run in. Two. And he just got a piece of it to stay alive. Miranda over at third now. Pages is at second. 1 out in the top of the 6th inning. To the plate, the 2-2. Wilson bounding ball to third. That'll score a run. Throw over to first in time. Page is trying to advance to third. He does, but he slides past the bag and he's out. Well, the Owls end up scoring a run. But that turf, Pages just went zooming by the third base bag. It is a 5-3 game. As we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and we'll have another Owls pitcher right after this. Mike Ruff, the sophomore right-hander on for the 2nd time this season, will replace Jordan Porter on the hill for your Owls. No record, no ERA. An inning, he gave up a hit. Otherwise scoreless. And his first pitch to Ryan Nelson is a called strike. Ruff stands 6'3". He's 220 pounds from Orlando. Misses low and away, 1-1. Nelson in this game is 0 for 1 with a sacrifice as part of the 5-run Oregon 5th. The 1-1 pitch. Two and one. And make it 3-1, low and away as Nelson had squared the bunt and pulled back. Ruff, the 3rd pitcher of the afternoon, following Prather and Poor. The Owls do have Weston Clemente warming up in their pen now, the only other left-hander available if Swan is not today. Foul ball is going to reach the seats down the right field line, 3-2. And the payoff, swing and a miss, got him. Chasing a fastball off the plate away, 91 miles an hour. Ruff punches out Nelson to bring up Ray Soderman. Soderman had a 2-run single, which was arguably the biggest hit of the 5th for Oregon. It tied the game up. So he's 1 for 2 today, having a very good series for the Ducks. Low and away, ball 1 from Ruff. Ruff sporting the makings of a mohawk. It's in its infant stages. His 1-0 is a called strike on the outside corner. 5-3 is your score, Oregon. Al's got to run back on that last play of the top of the 6th inning. Swing and a miss. 92 on that fastball, and it's 1-2. Oregon's shortstop Ryan Nelson racing out to the Ducks bullpen to start warming up. He's listed as both infielder and pitcher. Grounder to short. Tyler Frank. Easy throw, easy out. 2 down for Ruff in the 6th. Well, Nelson has yet to make it to the bullpen pitching mound. He's going to have to hurry. If Ruff can get Williams out quickly, he wouldn't have had time to really warm up. Not sure who Oregon's closer will be today. Nelson is credited with a save on the year, with Yovan being ejected back in the 2nd inning. Ball 1 to Evan Williams. Williams had a double and his walk today as well, so he's been on base both times. Can't get the outside corner call there. 2-0. Pitch. That one does get the corner. 2 balls, 1 strike. Just think this game, original scheduled time, would still yet not be underway. Supposed to start out here at 6 o'clock tonight. It's 3-1 to Williams. Kyle Kasser is on deck. Swing and a miss. Count goes full. Ruff looking for a perfect 6th inning to keep it at a 2-run deficit. He'll need to retire Williams on this pitch, one way or the other. He will walk him. So Williams will reach for the 3rd time. Now Kasser, who is 1 for 3 today but has a run scored and a run batted in, will step in as the first left-handed batter to face Ruff. That unintentionally also gives Nelson more time to warm up out in the Oregon pen. Squares the bunt, takes it low. The ball is in the dirt. Abraham throwing from his knees. He got him. My goodness, Kevin Abraham showing off his arm with a throw out on a wild pitch from his knees. to retire Williams. So that'll do it for the 6th inning. Still 5-3 FAU trailing Oregon. 7th inning right after this. Gunnar Lambert due up to lead off the 7th inning, but he'll be brought back into the dugout, and the Owls will pinch hit Eric Rivera to face the left-hander Colby Summers. Rivera getting the day off as a starter. Takes a fastball up high, ball 1. Has had a tough go as of late and has seen his batting average drop down to 194 on the season. Owls trailing 5-3, top of 7. It's low 2-0. The Owls will have to do some defensive finagling with Rivera replacing Lambert. One would guess Summerall could come in, although if I'm not mistaken, Coach has talked about Nitsa being able to play first if they wanted to kind of switch it around that way. This one's going to hit Rivera right between the shoulder blades, and he will be at first with nobody out. And Nitsa stepping in. Richie today 0 for 2. Pop out to second and tried to bunt for a base hit and was retired 1-3. We'll see if Nitsa's going to be asked maybe to bunt here for a sacrifice, or if he'll be looking to swing away. With Rivera at first, a good base stealer, good base runner. He does square, but bunts it foul. 0-1. Rivera, good lead over at first. Left-hander Summers. Left-handers generally do have a pretty good pickoff move. Comes to the plate. And Nitsa laces this one to left field. That's going to go to the fence. One hops it. Rivera is being held at third. And the double by Nitsa puts 2 in scoring position for Kevin Abraham. Richie put a charge into that one, and he'll be the tying run out at second base with Abraham stepping in. Kev was hit by a pitch his last time up. Struck out his first time, so he's 0 for 1. Infield will meet at the mound along with their pitching coach, Dietrich. Thought they were pinching in for maybe a bunt attempt, but instead they will have a conversation with their pitching coach. No, they will actually. It looks as if this is kind of one of the things that Oregon does. They bring out all the people out of the dugout to greet the pitcher coming off. They also wait. This is something I've never seen. They have the outgoing pitcher hand the ball to the new pitcher. Which will be Parker Kelly for the 3rd time in this series. Kelly has appeared in 2 games, given up 3 hits, struck out a couple of batters, and also hit a batter just against the Owls. This will be his 7th appearance overall in 11 Oregon games. 3-0 record, 7 innings, 4 hits, a walk, and 9 strikeouts. Kelly came on in the 7th inning, or in the 8th inning of Friday's game. Gave up a hit that actually scored a run, but that goes on the previous pitcher's ledger, and struck out a batter. And then he also had an inning yesterday in the 7th, gave up 2 hits and struck out a batter, did not allow a run in that game. He is obviously the workhorse out of the Oregon bullpen, with the Rally Owls brewing here in the top of the 7th inning. If you're at home, turn your cap inside out. Owls have the tying run at second, and just nobody out. Just nobody out. There's literally 0 outs here in this top of the 7th inning. Well, Parker Kelly gets his final warm-up toss in. Kevin Abraham steps to the plate. Nitsa getting the Owls' 5th hit of this ball game. With the double, he's standing at second. First pitch inside to Abraham, 1-0. Now the 1-0, Abraham ahead of a breaking pitch there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Set, look at third, the pitch. Misses away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Diamond Johnson in the on-deck circle for your Owls. Tyler Frank in the hole. It's a 5-3 game. Owls looking for a rally. Top of the 7th, trailing by 2. Rivera at third and Nitsa at second. It's another swing and a miss, a fastball. 91 miles an hour that Abraham comes up empty. Two and two. pitch. Fouled back. Abraham will stay alive. They play Abraham to pull. Center fielder DeLuca shifted towards left. Both middle infielders back. Both corner infielders in, even with the bags. 2-2 to Abraham. Hit on the ground to short. Nelson going to have to go to first. He'll get Abraham, but a run will score, and it's a one-run ball game. Well, Abraham does enough. Now with Nitsa at second. Diamond Johnson's going to be pulled back. And we're going to see Andrew Summerall pinch hit to bring in the lefty against the righty Kelly. And Summerall has success against Kelly as he doubled off of him to score the run back on Friday night. Steps in now with one out and the tying run at second. Just low, ball one. In last night's ball game, Kelly pitched the seventh, gave up 2 hits, but it was to Nitsa and Montez. Summerall grounded out in that contest. 1-0. Called strike on the outside corner. One pitch to Summerall. Is foul. Nearly bounded in front of home plate, in which Soderman, and he did, field it and try to tag Summerall, who was still standing in the box. If that ball had been, in the estimation of the home plate umpire, a fair ball, that would have been an easy out. But instead, a 1-ball, 2-strike count. The 1-2 pitch misses away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. On the year, Summerall is a .227 hitter. But in the series, he's 3 for 11 with 3 runs batted in. .273 in the series, and all 3 of his season runs batted in. And it misses inside, 3-2. Summerall tried to kind of lean into that one and take the old hit by pitch, but did not graze his pants leg. So the count is full with 1 out in a game that has now lasted 2 hours exactly. Here comes the 3-2. Summerall hits it a mile down the right field line, but he was well ahead of the 82-mile-an-hour off speed. And it's foul. Five to 4 ball game. And Neat's out there at second base, 1 out. Here's the pitch. It's low. Summerall will draw the walk to put 2 on and 1 out for Tyler Frank. Just the second walk Kelly has issued all season. And Frank, who's 1 for 3 today, has a golden opportunity to make this a brand new ball game. First pitch to Tyler is a swing and a miss. Got him to chase an off speed. He did not have his timing down on that one. 0-1. And missing way away. Soderman having to backhand that one in the left-handed batter's box. And he'll hand deliver the ball to Kelly. One and one. Foul ball. Once more right around home plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. If Frank, barring a double play, Joe Montez on deck, should bat in this inning. The 1-2 pitch. Up and in. About, I guess a little bit above Frank's waist. He had to back out of the way of it to keep it from hitting him. 2 balls and 2 strikes. When you say up and in, you think it's around the head, but not quite that high. 2-2. Oregon has a right-hander warming up. Bro. The pitch. Frank to center. But in his tracks is DeLuca. There goes the runner tagging from second to third. Nitza. Well, Frank gave it a ride. But DeLuca playing him pretty perfectly. Didn't really even have to move, but he also didn't set himself behind the ball to where he would get a good throw to third, and that allowed Nitza to retreat, tag, and make it easily. He's 90 feet away from the tying run, but there's 2 outs for Joe Montez, who has another 2-hit game to his credit. He tripled in the first to score a run and also scored, and then singled in the 6th. Well, before we see the first pitch to him, Soderman and Kelly are going to talk. I think I even mentioned this yesterday when Montez came up with 2 hits late in the game, how good it would be for him to get his first 3-hit game as an Owl. Well, this is as good a time as it was yesterday, and maybe better, because it would tie the ball game. Well, they're playing Montez up the middle now. They know where most of his hits have been going in this series. The first pitch, called strike on the outside corner. 0-1. Look over at third, the pitch. That's away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Five to 4. Owls trailing, but have the tying run at third with 2 outs. The 1-1. Montez swings and misses. 1-2. Big pitch here in this ball game. Kelly versus Montez. And it's a called strike 3 to end the inning and strand the possible tying run at third. It's 5 to 4. Oregon back with the bottom of the 7th. It's stretch time right after this. Bottom of the 7th inning. Oregon 5, FAU 4. Owls with back-to-back runs in the 6th and the 7th have cut it back down to a 1-run game. They will send Weston Clemente out to pitch the 7th. Kasser, DeLuca, Steer due up top of the Oregon lineup. Other defensive changes for the Owls. Remaining in the game, the 2 pinch hitters from last inning. Eric Rivera comes into left field, and Andrew Summerall will man first base. Kasser has reached twice in this game on a single and an error. He's 1 for 3. I also have Drew Peenan warming up in their pen. Not that many bodies left in the Owls bullpen. The remaining relievers left would only be, first pitch misses outside, ball 1. Nowotnik would be out there. Harris, Swan, but possibly not available. Peden and Schneider. Schneider has only been closing games so far. Called strike here, 1-1. Sanderson, though he did pitch a couple of innings yesterday. And Stewart. The 1-1. Up and away, 2 balls and 1 strike. Weston's been in 1 ball game in this series and 5 overall. He pitched yesterday, actually. 2/3 of an inning, walked a batter. He's behind in the count, 3-1 to Kasser. On the season, no record, a 3.38 earned run average for Clemente. 5 appearances, now 6, but only 2 2/3 innings, and he'll walk the left-hander Kasser, which is not advantageous for the Owls. Left-hander facing a left-handed batter. And now Johnny DeLuca, who was turned around by Jordan Portabat right-handed and nearly hit it out of here, is 1 for 3 today. 5 runs, 5 hits, no errors for Oregon. 4 runs, 4 hits, and 1 error for your Owls. Popped up between home and the pitcher's mound, and Clemente will actually make the catch. You don't see that very often, but it was only his ball to catch. A 1-pitch swinging DeLuca, that's a gift out for your Owls. And with Spencer Steer due up, Owls are going to go to the pen. And I would say we're probably going to see Mr. Peden. Haven't seen him at all in the series. The rubber-armed side armor is not coming into the matchup. No, it's going to be Martin Nowotnik. That's what you get for assuming. Never saw Nowotnik even take a warm-up pitch out in the bullpen, but he's coming on to face Steer with an out in the books and a runner on in the Ducks' 7th. Martin Nowotnik will face this dangerous Spencer Steer with a runner on first and 1 out. Mark pitched 2 innings in the Saturday night win and threw 29 pitches. And And misses low to steer. Ball 1. The Ducks third baseman was intentionally walked his last time up, 0 for 2 otherwise. Throw over to first and short hop Summerall, but he knocks it down. Still 1-0. Five to 4 is your score. Owls trailing the Ducks 1-0. It's a called strike. And another throw over to first. Ducks have, or the Oregon sound people have a sound of a duck that they use when someone throws over to first. It's very reminiscent of a chicken, like it's they're scared. I don't know. 2-1. It's odd, but I guess if you are the Ducks, you can play a duck sound anytime you want, and that's that. Two 2-1 pitch, fouled straight back, and it's 2-2. Nowotnik tasked in keeping this just a 1-run deficit. Two-two pitch. Bounces in, knocked down by Abraham, and it's 3-2. We talked about how he had pitched in the earlier game this weekend, but he's pitched in 4 games overall, so this is his 5th with no record and a 4.15 earned run average. 3-2, there goes the runner. It's popped up. Summerall will glove it as Kessler retreats to the bag in time. Big out there, 2 down. Gabe Matthews. Matthews is 0 for 3 today. It's been uncharacteristically quiet for him.
First baseman number 12, Gabe Matthews.
There goes the runner. Here's the throw down. It's going to be a little too high, allowing Kasser to reach safely. The pitch was also high, 1-0. Kasser at second with 2 outs. And time called at the plate. And now to the plate. Called strike, and I guess that first pitch actually ended up being a strike, so it's 0-2. Apologies. No balls and 2 strikes to Matthews. And another one that bounces in that Abraham knocks down. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of this 7th inning. The Owls will have Miranda leading off the 8th, trailing by 1. If this holds, ripped down the right field line and tailing foul. So still 1-2. It was hit hard, but Matthews was well ahead of it. Nowotnik, a long look at second. The 1-2 fouled back. We'll do it again. This is the 5th pitcher of the night for FAU. Trying to take it to the 8th. Fake back to second. That makes Kasser dive back in. Sun setting here on the West Coast. The 1-2. And yet another foul ball, left-hand side. The 1-2. It's hit into right. It's going to drop in front of Miranda. He fires to the plate. It's cut off by Summerall. Well, it's not cut off. It squirts past him, but the run scores. A big 2-out. Run scoring single by Matthews. Pushes it to a 6-4 advantage. So the walk haunts. The leadoff walk, Kasser, does end up coming around to score. Now it's Jacob Goldfarb. Head coach John McCormack out of the Owls pen. Guess maybe at this point it would only be Swan with Goldfarb and Trammell, or Travis I should say, due up. 2 lefties. It is Swan. Big 2-out hit for Oregon has given them a 6-4 lead. Southpaw Nick Swan pitched the end of the game yesterday, an inning in the third, walking a batter, striking out 2. Will face Jacob Goldfarb with a runner at first and 2 outs. His first pitch is up high, ball 1. Gabe Matthews with a 2-out single off Martin Nowotnik has extended Oregon's lead to 6-4. We are in the bottom of the 7th inning. 1-0. Also upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. Goldfarb singled and walked in the 5th. Scoring on the single, walking in a run because the bases were loaded in that 5-run Oregon inning. 2-0. And it catches the elbow guard of Goldfarb. He will reach first, put 2 on, and 2 outs for Taylor Travis. Scratch that. Travis is being pulled back, and they'll bring up a right-handed batter in Daniel Patzlaff. So for the second time in this inning, Oregon is the beneficiary of what should have been an advantageous matchup for your Owls. Clemente walked the left-handed batting Caster, who has come around to score. Swan comes in to face the left-handed batting Goldfarb and hits him. And would have faced the left-handed batting Travis, but he has been pinch hit for by the right-handed batting Patzlaff, who we've seen once in this series. He walked and he struck out. And John McCormack's going to play the hand that he's dealt and go to the bullpen. So Swan throws 3 pitches. And we're going to see our 4th pitcher of the inning. And now here comes Drew Peden. Only was a couple of pitchers late in announcing him. We'll tell you about Drew right after this. Two on and 2 out, and Drew Peden making his first appearance of this series, which is, if you've missed pre-games with Coach McCormack, it's unusual because he usually pitches about every other day. To that end, he's been in 5 games this year with a 3-0 record and has not given up a run. 7 2/3 innings, 3 hits, no walks, and 8 strikeouts for the side-winding right-hander. And Patzlaff will turn around and bat left-handed. So that answers that question. He is a switch hitter. First pitch from Peden. This is outside, ball 1. Peden does not succeed as much against left-handers as he does against righties. Here's a throw back to second, and back in safely is Matthews. There's that duck again. The 1-0. Squaring to bunt is Pat's left, but he pushes it too far foul down the third baseline. One and one. The Ducks now have 6 runs on 6 hits. The Owls 4 runs on 4 hits. They do have an error. Two and one to Patslav. This season, the senior Oregon infielder is batting an even 200. Peden falls behind in 3 and 1 to him. There is a right-hander on deck, the shortstop, Ryan Nelson. Inside out swing down the left field line. Rivera going a long way, and he can't catch up to it. And 2 more Oregon runs are going to score. That may be the death knell here tonight. A double has made it 8-4. Well, that's a big hit for Patslav. And a 3-run frame for the Ducks. First pitch from Peden to Nelson, misses up high, ball 1. And Nelson in the ballgame is 0 for 3. Now he's 0 for 2 with the sacrifice. 1-0 is chopped to second. Nitsa going to have to hustle. And he gets it over to first in time, but a batter too late. Oregon scores 3. They have an 8-4 lead as we go to the 8th. The Owls had chipped back to cut it to 1. See if they've got any more rally left in them in their last couple of at-bats here in Eugene. Ryan Nelson will pitch the Oregon 8th inning. He'll face David Miranda. Pedro Pages. Cody Wilson moves in from shortstop. Patzlaff stays in the game, and he will play short as the Ducks lose their DH. First pitch way inside to Miranda. Ball 1. And inside again, 2-0. Nelson is making his second appearance on the mound. He has thrown a 2/3 of an inning save in his other appearance, walking 1 and striking out 2. So both of his outs came via the strikeout, and he picked up the save. It's 2-0. It is right down the pipe, and that was 96 miles an hour, 2-1. Nelson. A little bit of a slow worker. Here's the 2-1. Fouled back, 96 again. 2-2. He is 6'3", 175 pounds, so he's a little wiry, but obviously has a very good arm. And the 2-2, foul back again. And we'll do it again. Set and ready for the break even. That was an off speed that Miranda was well ahead of, but fouled it off. Still 2-2. Heck of a battle here to start the 8th inning. Sonderman and Nelson apparently not on the same page. They'll talk it out quickly at the pitcher's mound. Here comes the 2-2. And another foul ball on another off speed. So this will be pitch number 8 of the at-bat. It is an 8-4 ball game in favor of Oregon. It was 2-0 Owls, then 5-2 Ducks. A couple of runs chipped back at it, making it 5-4, but Oregon put up a 3 spot in their last at-bat, and 5 + 3 is 8. They have a 4-run advantage. Here's the 2-2. Grounded to second. And on over to first, and Miranda is retired to start the 8th. Next up, Pedro Pages. He walked his last time up. Oregon has already assured themselves of no worse than a split in this series, and they can win it outright with a victory here tonight. The Owls will need to mount a major comeback at this point to get back into this ball game. Pages, as I said, he walked last time. He had a home run taken away from him earlier today. Nelson misses outside, 1-0. Not a save situation for Nelson in the 4-run game. Oregon has Bro still warming up out in right field. We saw him this weekend. Here's the 1-0. Called strike, 1-1. tell you, for not having either Nelson or Jovan as full-time pitchers, Nelson's their starting shortstop. Jovan is DH when he's not pitching, and sometimes when he is. They can both really light up the radar guns. The 1-1. Pages fouls it into the mid of Soderman. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the 1-2 misses away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Page is still searching for his first hit in the series. Two-two pitch. Up and away. Count goes full. Wilson is on deck. If the inning continues, Rivera standing at the top step of the Owls dugout. Three-two. Pages. Fly ball left center to Luca. Makes the catch, and there's 2 down. Now Cody Wilson. Wilson 1 for 3. Has a double, also had a run scoring ground out. First pitch to him. 96 miles an hour, swing and a miss. 0-1. And a called strike outside, corner at the knees, 0-2. Thank you for joining me throughout this long weekend here in Oregon. We'll be back at the friendly confines of FAU Baseball Stadium this weekend for a 3-game set, a normal weekend Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at home. Here comes the 0-2. And Wilson goes down swinging, a 1-2-3-8 for Nelson and the Ducks. It remains 8-4, heading to the bottom of the 8th right after this. Matt Harris will be the 8th FAU pitcher. 8 FAU pitchers here tonight in the finale against Oregon. It's an 8-4 Ducks lead. Harris will face Soderman, Williams, and Kasser if he completes the inning, or who knows at this point. Matt's appeared in one game, 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 hits and a walk, but no runs and no ERA. First pitch to Soderman. Fastball, swing and a miss. 0-1. Soderman today 1 for 3 with a 2-run single. Oh, 1. Not sure the call there. He called it a dead ball. Ball 1. Usually if it's a dead ball like that, when the home plate umpire throws his hands up, it's if it is a foul ball. And it was 0-2. I guess he did not check his swing, or tried to, and got a piece of the ball. Here's a foul ball into the bleachers to the right. Still 0-2. So barring an epic comeback in the top of the 9th inning, looks like the Owls are going to have a 1-3 series here in Oregon, which would drop them to 8-4 on the year. Time called at the plate by Soderman. For what it's worth, the trio due up for your Owls in the bottom half is Rivera, Nitza, and Abraham. Or the top half of the 9th. There's a strike 3 swinging, but the ball goes to the backstop, and Soderman will reach on the wild pitch. Sees it first with nobody out for Evan Williams. Williams has reached all 3 times tonight. Every time I say his name, I think I'm getting it wrong because I think I'm speaking of the Bourbon, but no, that's the same. So he has doubled and walked twice. Believe it or not, the Owls have activity in their bullpen. All that's left is Mark Stewart, who is throwing, and Zach Schneider, who is not. Blake Sanderson's also out there, but Blake pitched in yesterday's game. Doesn't necessarily mean he's not available, but I guess of the 3, he'd be the least likely to throw. It's 1-0 to Williams. Swing and a miss, 1-1. I think the unsung MVP of the day for your Owls is Jacob Pino. Out there in the left field bullpen warming up all these pitchers. There's got to be somebody else out there with him. Maybe Gunnar Lambert. Called strike on the outside corner. It's 1-2. For some of the times in which the Owls had 2 pitchers warming up, there had to be a second receiver out there, with Pages DHing and Abraham catching. I guess that would have left Lambert. The 1-2. Misses low, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Harris, the Owls graduate student right-hander, 6 foot, 180 pounds, from just up the road in Palm Beach Gardens. A transfer from Elon University. 2-2. Popped up foul ground. Everybody giving chase. Nobody able to come up with it. That was Summerall, Nitza, and Miranda all chasing it down the first base line, and Summerall had the best shot at it. but it's a long foul ball. Everybody resets. Harris readies the 2-2. It's low. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Throw over to first and back in safely is Soderman. Payoff pitch with Soderman likely running. He is. Here it comes. It's low. And the first 2 batters reach in this 8th inning. For the Ducks, back to the top of the lineup, Kyle Kasser. Kasser, single, fly out, reached on an error, and has walked. He's scored twice, and he has a run batted in. Off-speed pitch misses low. Ball 1 to Kasser. 8-4 is your score. Oregon with the lead and threatening for more. Here's the 1-0. That's right down the pipe. 1-1. Harris takes a look back at Soderman at second. There's a flare off the end of the bat down the third base line. Caught, nice over the head play by Joe Montez to catch it in foul ground for the first out of this 8th inning. Now DeLuca, 1 for 4. Has an RBI double tonight. Low on the first pitch to DeLuca, 1-0. Nearing the 3-hour mark of tonight's contest, and that's by far the longest game in this series. Went 2 hours and 30 minutes on Friday, 2:29 and 2:38. We're at 2:58 right now. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Of course, longer innings, more runs, more pitchers. All of these things lead up to more time at the old ballpark. And the only unfortunate part of that is that the Owls are on the wrong side of the scoreboard. 1-1. Fouled back. It had eyes for my booth. Hit the very top of the netting before going back on the field. 1-2. Just past the 10 o'clock hour back on the East Coast. One-two pitch. It's lined to right. That's going to drop for a base hit. Skips up right into Miranda's glove, and He will fire it home on a hop on a nice throw. They had held Soderman at third, so the bases are loaded. Spencer Steer is 0 for 3 tonight with a walk. With the bases loaded. And with one out. One and 0 to him. Here's a liner into left over a leaping Montez. 2 runs are going to score. Here's the throw to third, and it's going to get past the cutoff. It's 10-4. And only one out. Now Matthews. Called strike on the inside corner. Matthews today 1 for 4 with an RBI single. Most runs the Owls have given up in a game this year. Called strike. Oh, and 2. And a swing and a miss. Harris gets Matthews. It's the second out of the inning. It's the second strikeout, of course, if you go all the way back to the beginning of this inning. Soderman struck out but reached on a wild pitch.
Now batting for right fielder number 23, Jacob Goldfarb.
Goldfarb, who was hit by a pitch and scored last time up, walked, struck out, or sorry, singled and flew out. He's 1 for 2 technically. Swings and misses. 0-1. And a called strike, 0-2. So after the double, Harris throwing nothing but strikes. And just upstairs, 1-2. The 1-2. That's on the outside corner, a strikeout looking. Harris is going to get 3 strikeouts in the inning, but he's going to give up 2 runs on 2 hits, and Oregon has extended their lead out to a 10-4 lead, or to a 10-4 margin score. Ball game. Top of the 9th is next. Last chance for your Owls, leading off Eric Rivera after this. Top of the 9th inning. Oregon 10. Your Owls 4. Eric Rivera leads it off against Ryan Nelson, who was very impressive in his 8th inning, his 1-2-3 8th. Oh, apologies. We do have a pinch hitter here. And for Rivera is Stephen Revilla. Stephen does not have an at-bat this season. He's appeared twice as a defensive replacement. Swings and misses at the first pitch. Strike one. Inside out swing to short, a couple of hops. Patzlaff beats Revilla by a step. One down. Next up and batting for Richie Nitza is Jared DeSantolo. DeSantolo has 0 for 2. He's 0 for 2 with a walk and a strikeout this season. Left-handed batter. He fouls it back. 0-1. Nelson ready on the rubber. The 0-1 is right down the pipe. No balls and 2 strikes. Jacob Pino is on deck. Going to see his first collegiate action, and good for him. He, like I said, he did a ton of work here today in the bullpen. The de facto bullpen catcher for this squad. DeSantolo, the freshman, waits the 0-2. And he fouls it off to stay alive. 6 foot, 175 pounds from Tampa. Fouled that one off his front leg, so he's going to take his time getting back into the box. Nelson wants the next sign. Soderman wants it low. 0-2. Swing and a miss. DeSantolo down on strikes. And here comes Jacob Pino. Pino going to make his first collegiate appearance. The 5'10", 210-pound, listed as an outfielder from Pembroke Pines. Tries to check his swing. He does. Ball one. And the 1-0 is over for a called strike. Nelson with a deep breath. The 1-1 pitch. Misses inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 to Pino. Is fouled back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pino wags the bat in the right-handed batter's box. Wearing uniform number 41. The 2-2. Got him with the off speed, and that'll do it. The Owls fall here in the finale in Eugene by the final score of 10-4. 10 runs, 9 hits, and no errors for Oregon. The Owls 4 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error. Taking the win today will be the starter, Kafka. And Nick Prather will fall to 0-2 on the year. Final score for the final time as we wrap things up in Eugene, 10-4 Oregon. This has been Jonathan Frazier from the Pacific Northwest saying thank you to everyone out there for graciously listening. Have a great rest of your Monday, and we'll talk to you again on Friday night from back home in Boca Raton. Good night.